Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this video. I am Darren Birch. I'm a part of the Alumni Giving Committee on the Bethany College Alumni Council. And we have Olivia.
Olivia Peterson. I'm class of 2013, and I'm new on the board here, but I'm really excited to get to talk to Doug tonight.
And Doug Talbott, class of 1966. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have Doug here to talk about the Stan and Pauline Talbott Society, which many of you may know, but many of you may not. Doug, what is, first of all, who is Stan and Pauline Talbott?
Okay, well, my mother graduated from Bethany in 1941. My dad graduated from Bethany in 1946 because he came back after serving as a paratrooper in World War II. And so he had a little bit of a delay with that part. And they ended up moving from Russell to Bethany College at the urging of Ken Shugren. He said, "We've got work to do here." And so when they came in, Dad came in as the director of alumni, and my mother came in as Dean of Women. Now, each of them, their titles changed throughout the time. Hers eventually became the Assistant Dean of Students because she worked with both male and female college students. And Dad became Director of Parents Association, as well as then the Associate Director of Institutional Advancement. And so, you know, as is often the case, you wear more than one hat when you're doing those types of things. And so they both worked for the college then until 1987, when they retired after 19 years of service, basically. When Dad retired, that's when the Stan Talbott Society was actually formed. The whole Talbott family felt that both of them need to be a part of this because they both loved Bethany so much and gave so much of their lives to the college, and not just to raising money, but to every aspect of it.
Hey, so I guess my next question is then, what is their society? What is the Stan and Pauline Talbott Society, and what is its purpose?
Okay, we actually added one more word into that title. We made it the Stan and Pauline Talbott Swede Society. And the reason for that is twofold. One, Dad, of course, became known for his yelling of "Go Swedes" at the athletic events. You could always hear it. And they just, even though neither one of them were Swedish at all, the Swedes became a part of who they were. And so that's the reason that we felt that had to be in. We also know that a number of former students, graduates, etc., consider themselves Swedes. And they'll say that before they even say, "Are you a Bethany grad?" They'll say, "Are you a Swede?" And they'll ask, and you know right away, that's what they're talking about. And so that's why we felt it was important to put that in before that. There are several things. The intent, I should go through it this way. Under the whole purpose, the intent is part of that. And part of that is to obviously encourage alumni to give, and to give every year, and to give to something they're passionate about. Now, it might be something that's just one thing. It might be 3 or 4 things that kept bringing them back to Bethany each year. And so it's not always just the classroom, and it's not always just the athletic competition or just the music or just this, whatever. It's a number of reasons. And so we wanted that kind of became the intent. We also wanted people to feel that the primary goal is still annual participation. Dad's big thing was annual participation. And that's because if you give, the more alumni that give, the better chance you have of going to outside funding sources and actually having a chance of gaining support from them, because these foundations and other areas, that's what they look at, because their feeling is, if your alums aren't supporting you, why should we? And our family felt, you know what, if you give, you're a member. I give this year, I'm a member. I give next year, I'm a member. If I miss a year, I'm not a member that year. The next year I give, I'm a member again. We just want them, because we all have times when maybe we don't have the money to give, and we want them to feel like I can still get back into this next year. And so that keeps the alumni giving happening. And so that became really the primary goal. The mission then is to encourage not only the designated giving aspect with that, and to increase the percentage of Swedes who give, but also we wanted our former students. If you've gone to Bethany for one full semester, you're an alum. And a lot of our people don't understand that. They think you have to have graduated to be an alum. But that's important, because sometimes you have students who are here and have to leave, not because they want to, but they need to go support their family, or they need to go do this or do that, and they simply can't afford to come back. I mean, they have lots of reasons why they don't complete their degree here. And some of those people, well, a lot of those people still feel very strongly about Bethany, but they just didn't know that they were considered an alum. And so that's one of our big reasons too, is to get that out there, to say, hey, and so that's why it's in the magazine, what an alum is, so that people understand that. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping then that aside from the obvious financial benefits that we get from this, that we also that donors can give with the confidence that what I'm giving to is where my money will end up. If I give to the business club, my money will end up going to the business club. It will not end up being detoured or used for something else. No, it will go. And that really helps when you know, if I'm going to give my money, I want to be assured that that's where it's going. And yep. So that's why we've set it up this way.
Okay. Doug, that's great. I think that answers a lot of good questions there. So I think if someone wants to be a Bethany supporter, is a Bethany supporter, and they want to be a part of the Talbott Swede Society, how might they go about that? How do we become a member?
Okay, you become a member simply by giving. There's no extra things that you have to do. If you give to Bethany College, you should automatically become a member of the Stan Talbott Society. But there are 4 main areas that you can give, and I'm going to actually look at my notes here as I do this. So one of those is to the general college funding, which would include everything from academic scholarships to capital outlay, etc., annual fund. Academic departments, each department, such as art, biology and chemistry, English, education, etc., you can give specifically to one of those departments. You can give to one of the athletic programs, doesn't matter what it is, any one of them, baseball, softball, tennis, basketball, etc. And then to all the many clubs and organizations. And what we found is that a lot of people really felt strongly about being a part of one of those clubs organizations. That's one of the things that's actually brought some of them back, was that, hey, and so you can give to, whether it's the psychology club or Sigma Alpha Iota or campus ministry, etc., you can give. And the only real stipulation is that because of the bookwork involved, expense in kind of going through and taking care of donations, it really works best if it can be a minimum of $15. I mean, anything above that's great. And so if you wanted to send a check for $100 and divide it up into 5 different things, you can do that. I want $20 going here and $20 going there. Yeah, you can do that just fine, rather than sending just a $100 check and say, put it wherever. No, if you feel strongly, tell them where you'd like for them to put the money.
I think that's the one thing that's great about the Stan and Pauline Talbott Swede Society is if you want to give $100 and spread that out across the organization to departments and clubs and athletic programs that you feel passionate about, you can do that. And that's what's really fantastic. And I think that's what alumni want to do. So one question I have, and you touched on it earlier, Doug, was Stan and your mom, Pauline, were such a proponent of annual giving year after year, like give at least something year after year in any amount. even in whether it be large and especially small gifts. Why was that?
Okay, well, really, there are a couple of reasons. One, as I mentioned, the foundations and that you go to when you're asking for those large gifts, whether it be a grant or something else, they say, okay, you've only got 10% of your alumni giving. If your alumni can't support your college, why should we support your college? That's not going to cut it. So Dad's big thing was to go out and get them with the idea that, hey, give something, because it will show up as helping our percentage rate go up. So consequently, he had a lot of good sized gifts, but a lot of smaller gifts that came in from a lot of people who felt, hey, I'll give what I can give, and I can feel good about that because it's going to the right place. And I know what Stan says it's going to help. And that's what they do. You know, you've got to feel good when you give.
Mhm.
You have to feel good about it. If you don't, you're giving for the wrong reasons, and you're not giving out of love, and you should be giving out of love. And so that was the idea. And they both, in their areas, as much, maybe even after they left Bethany, they both were able to actually get to more things because Dad wasn't on the road, et cetera, all these things. And they just became so understanding of how much Bethany meant for all the different reasons, and how many different aspects there were of Bethany that brought people back or tugs on the heartstrings. And that's what, so, but when Dad was out there, he said, okay, we're going to go get this. We've got to get this up. And that was at a time when the college, he and Ken knew that the college, you know, they were kind of in a life or death situation with that time, and we need to get the money, and these are ways we can do it. And so their passion, I can't even describe their passion for how much it meant to them to get people to give. And that's one of the biggest things our own kids have said is, Dad, you've got to make people understand that giving something small is just as important as giving something large.
I love that. I think that's why Bethany Backers I'm passionate about. When Darren started that, I got excited. The
Sure.
Swede Society from your folks, they're exciting initiatives, because whether you're a young alumni or if you fell on hard times, the idea is that you don't have to give this big significant gift to feel like you're supporting your alma mater or your local college, whatever it is.
Yes.
I just love that whole initiative, and I appreciate their passion for it, because I think that is important, that if we can give what we can, and giving something that's the biggest part of it, more than the dollar amount. So I love that. And I'm glad you shared that, because I think that motivates young people that are still paying off loans, people that are in grad school, whatever it is, whatever you can make work you're a Swede Society. You can be a backer. I think that's awesome. So
Exactly.
that's important. Thank you, Doug.
And whether it be $15 or $20 or $50, those small gifts, when we have 500 or 600 or 800 or 1,000 people joining in, wow, I mean, small gifts make a huge impact.
Yeah, and not only just a huge impact, you know, from a financial standpoint, but it's a huge impact on the percentage of alumni giving.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to have as well.
So Doug, if Stan and Pauline were here in our video today, what messaging do you think they would want us all to hear? What would be their motivation? What would be their little nugget?
Well, there's probably a couple of things. One of the things you would probably hear from my dad is, ho, that's just what he would do. And that enthusiasm was not just done for the team he was watching or whatever else. That was for the college.
Yeah.
That was just something that you look at certain people at that time anyway, you said, you know, that's who Bethany is. That's someone that stands for Bethany. That sort of thing. He would probably do that. My mother would smile as Dad would do that. And she would clap and she would look and you know, they just both would want to encourage people to continue to do what needs to happen for Bethany to be here for our grandkids, for our great grandkids, for on down the line. And that's what they want to have happen. It wasn't just about at that time, although it was difficult when they first started, but then it became better. It's about giving of yourself to give to others in the future, and you're going to pay it forward, and they're going to pay it forward, and everybody's going to feel good about what they're doing and what they're receiving. Yeah, and I mean, I don't think there's any question. It's hard to put passion into words, but that's just what it is.
Well, passion is what was not short in Pauline and Stan. So there are many ways to give to Bethany College, as you've all seen today on this video. I'm going to put on the screen now how to give to Bethany, both in terms of online giving, which I'm showing our online giving portal right now. You'll see in the description box, if you want to give to a particular cause, you can put that in the description box. Also, you can fill out this form that we're showing right now for the Stan and Pauline Talbott Swede Society. And if you want to divvy up an amount of your gift, whether it be $200 or $300 or just $15 to one organization, you can do that. Send in that check along with this form and into the College Advancement Office. Thank you so much, Doug, for taking the time tonight to talk about two amazing pillars of Bethany College, Stan and Pauline. We greatly miss them. I was very fortunate to know them and to hear them cheering on the Swedes in the stands. Thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you too for all the work you're doing as well. It's people like you that keep this place going.
Thanks, Doug. I only wish I could have known Stan and Pauline, but I'm thrilled to know you and Linda, and how cool that Doug was at his granddaughter's another generational Swede playing basketball last night. So It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
Yep.
That's right.